most unlikely landing spots for DeMar DeRozan. But the reason I wanted to go through this exercise is because it is a team that if they surprise some people, we keep saying that, but then we keep saying teams that we know are going to be kind of good, right? We keep saying that and then bringing up the Hawks. We keep saying that and then bringing up, I don't know, the Pistons, the Magic, teams like that in the Eastern Conference that we know are supposed to be pretty good. So I went real random, a Freaky Friday, if you will. It's also a fully loaded Friday. That's what it's been. And this is what I cooked up. There are a ton of caveats, but this is what I cooked up. An unlikely landing spot for DeMar DeRozan if things go well for the Charlotte Hornets. And they definitely need an adult in the room. The Hornets would receive DeMar DeRozan and Devin Carter. The Kings would receive Grant Williams and Trey Mann. That is the deal. Now, the deal would have to be done in January because Trey Mann recently signed a new deal with the Hornets. He came over in that Gordon Hayward deal. So they would have to wait until January. Now, again, that's why that all kind of fits, because by January, of course, we would know, hey, the Hornets are actually messing around with the 6th seed. They might even miss the play-in. Freaky Friday, probably not going to happen, but we keep talking about the same Eastern Conference teams, so I wanted to mix it up. Maybe LaMelo stays healthy. The last time we saw Brandon Miller, he was actually pretty darn good. Miles Bridges on the basketball court is a pretty solid player. They've brought in other pieces. I know Summer League doesn't matter in the same way, but their young guys look to have some promise. Grant Williams dealt with a bunch of injuries last season. He's only 26 years old. If you would have made me guess how old Grant Williams is, I would not have said 26. I can guarantee you that much. Struggled with injury. He only played 16 games last season, but for his career, 7.2 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists per game, 45% from the field, 37% from three. Get in that corner. He's only 6'6", but we know he plays bigger. So that would move Keegan back to the 3. All right. You give them Devin Carter and Trey Mann. Here's a guy who you're always going to look at dudes differently if they got drafted by the Thunder. Always. That does carry a level of cachet. Trey Mann is 24 years old. He's 6'3". His draft profile coming into the league was that he is a willing defender. Okay. He can get his hands into passing lanes. The dude is a scorer. All right. The dude is a scorer. He only played so neither of these guys played for the Hornets last year. They were on the team, but Grant Williams played what I say, 14 games, something like that. Trey Mann played 13. Okay. So neither of them really got a true. Grant played 16 and Trey Mann, he played 13. In 181 games, Trey Mann was the 18th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. 181 games, he's averaged 9.4 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game, 41% from the field, 35% from three. They would like him to shoot the 3 ball better, 78% from the free throw line. But the dude, he is an athletic specimen. All right. He reminds me a little bit of the Malik Monk types, but I like him as a point guard. And look, being 23 or 24 years old, I do think that he profiles better to grow into a point guard than, say, a Devin Carter. Why the Kings would do this? Well, DeMar DeRozan, by this time, it's January. The Hornets have been playing pretty well. They're willing to do it. You get somebody to help you right now. And like I said, he's only 26 in Grant Williams. So that's going to help Keegan Murray, assuming you sign him to that extension, because now Keegan can play the 3. Trey Mann is your point guard, or could be your point guard of the future. He does more so slot as a shooting guard, but right now he's playing backup. At 24 years old, he can learn from Dennis Schroeder. He's closer to being a point guard than Devin Carter.
God blessing me with his body.
Thank you. So that's why the Kings would do it. Why the Hornets would do it. In this situation, the Hornets are about a 7 seed, trying to fight for that 6 seed to get into the playoffs. DeMar DeRozan gives you more scoring punch. You'd have Miles Bridges, LaMelo, and DeMar DeRozan in the Eastern Conference. That could play. That could play. It gives you much more offensively than Grant Williams. Obviously, you're losing something defensively. And I didn't even say Brandon Miller. So you got Brandon Miller in there who has shown some things. And that Hornets team needs an adult in the room. And you get Devin Carter back, who, again, similar, honestly, a bit similar to Trey Mann, just not a bit behind him, I would say, offensively. Here's the other thing about, well, Allen, why would the Hornets give up Trey Mann? Well, I'll tell you this much. The Hornets don't seem to have a ton of faith in Trey Mann. They brought in Colin Sexton and Spencer Dinwiddie, okay? So you don't really do that if you're expecting Trey Mann to get a ton of minutes behind LaMelo Ball. And those moves, obviously, those are adults in the room. Those moves are moves saying, well, there's some down teams in the East. You never know what could happen. So that's why I think they would be willing to. So you get DeMar DeRozan, who is going to raise your ceiling for the Hornets, and he can be kind of that vet, help them get some runs in the playoffs. It helps DeMar, an easier situation to get back to the playoffs. You get a Devin Carter who he can learn with Sexton and Dinwiddie, give a defensive punch there, because that's not really, I know Sexton gives great effort on defense, but you can, all right, Devin Carter, this is where you become Derek White, whatever the case may be. That's it, Ramsey. That's it. A lot would have to go right, but you can crush my dreams if you want. I'm really proud of this one.
I'm gonna let Doug Christie answer what he thinks about this trade.
It's better than the Sabonis one.
I wouldn't do it personally. I wouldn't do it. I'm not moving from DeMar DeRozan and Devin Carter for someone who's still coming off a shoulder injury in Grant Williams and don't know what he looks like. I mean, you could call him a mini version of either Desmond Bain, or to pull out a football reference, shout out St. Mary's of Stockton. Mm-hmm. He looks like a mini version of Doug Martin, aka Muscle Hamster. He used to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and had a cup of coffee with the Raiders.
So I'm telling you, man, I think there is a level of risk, but this is a situation where other teams that may have popped up and you thought DeMar was going to be more of a name as we get closer to the trade deadline, and you're looking around thinking, hey, man, this kind of helps the future. And by that time, to your point, Ramsey, we would know if Grant Williams and Trey Mann, are they healthy, whether they're playing or not. I think Grant Williams is going to play because they need somebody at that position. But yeah. Trey Mann, is he buried, or is Spencer Dinwiddie just not playing? Is Colin Sexton just not playing? Where did they end up going there? And if Trey Mann is fighting for time, okay, cool. Well, Devin Carter's fighting for time too. They're different enough from that point guard specific perspective that the Hornets could say they're really doing the deal for DeMar DeRozan and to give their fans something to cheer about. Then DeMar DeRozan, and thank you for reminding me of this, Ramsey, then DeMar DeRozan goes into next season. That deal's not guaranteed, and the Hornets kind of hire him to have that nice run, the play-in run. Maybe they sneak into the 6th seed, and then after that, okay, DeMar, let's get you somewhere else where you can truly have a shot at this. So that's why, and then that money is off the books. And Charlotte, there's work. Look, man, I got some friends in North Carolina. I have not gone out there, but I hear it's a pretty beautiful place. There are worse places to be. Now that $24 million is off the books for you for Charlotte, and you're able to build up on what you just did.
And you were bringing up Trey Mann. Trey Mann is almost 2 seconds away from being out of the league. Because if you didn't catch with OKC, if you don't catch with Charlotte,
that's why the Dinwiddie Sexton thing, I know they're all kind of combo-y type guards. Bringing in both of them is wild.
And they're two extremely different types of players, in my opinion, as well. I mean, And this is Colin Sexton's third team.
But that's still time taking away. If you have a 24-year-old Trey Mann, bringing in both, it's both of them. That's what's making me think maybe, and we can argue whether or not Trey Mann is worth this, but if you're looking around and it's January and the phone isn't ringing off the hook for DeMar DeRozan, and let me take a step back, and the Kings are not really in the hunt, okay, let's start to weigh things and what could help.
And like we were talking, Colin Sexton, this is his third team.
Mm-hmm.
Dinwiddie, this is his fourth team.
Right.
So, I mean, are they here to be in potentially is what unfortunately Sacramento had been referred to? Are they in basketball Siberia now in Charlotte?
I think it's worse.
So do I.
I think it's worse right now, but they believe because they have these young dudes, they believe that they're headed in the right direction.
I mean, they to me, they might have a little more promise, and then this in comparison to this other team I'm about to bring up, the Wizards, because the Wizards have a roster that makes no sense either.
Right.
With getting CJ, they got Chris Middleton, who we don't know where he is. Get well soon. You got them two with a bunch of young players in Washington.
Yeah. Well, they swung and missed so far.
Yeah.
And with the Tejan Salon thing. And I wear that. Kyle reminds me multiple times a week that was my guy. Fine. It really depends on how you feel about Con Kneppel and Ryan Kalkbrenner. Those are the two, right? And I know they got someone else with Sion James as well. From Duke as well.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about those dudes? Because KJ Simpson and Tejan Salon
swing and miss. Those two are swing and miss in my opinion. Even though I thought KJ was going to be good coming out of Colorado, but it might not. Again, it might not be the fit. I believe Con Kneppel's a hooper.
Mm-hmm.
From everything I've seen from Kalkbrenner when he played from Creighton, he's a 7-foot stretch big. You could put him in the post. He could do what he needs to do, which Charlotte definitely needs, because here's someone else I'm going to bring up that they swung and missed on. Mark Williams.
Yeah.
They swung and missed on that.
Right.
And they moved on from Nick Richards too.
I think a lot of this and how we even get to this conversation is Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller. Because these dudes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying bringing in a vet, and they got a couple vets. I'm not saying that would make them healthier, but I mean, goodness gracious, who can stay on the court out there?
True. And here's a question I have for you. Is Brandon Miller more talented than Con Kneppel?
From what just simply because he's played in the league,
I understand.
I probably would default to yes, but I do like what I've seen from Con.
Again, I think personally, Con unless they shift Brandon Miller potentially to a 3 and then if they shift and they bump Miles Bridges to a 4, I think they slide Con Kneppel in right at the 2.
I'm telling you, man. People were high on Brandon Miller. Look,
I know that.
Conversations. Where is he when he actually plays, and can he stay on the court? But that's the same thing with it starts at the top with LaMelo.
LaMelo can't stay healthy.
So 279. This is Allen. You're crazy. Worst trade of all time. I thought your Anthony Black trade was bad. Why are you trying to make the Kings worse and the Hornets better? That comes down to how you feel about DeMar DeRozan. Because this would have to happen because of Trey Mann when he signed. It would have to happen in January. So if you feel like that right now because you think the Kings are going to be competing, I'm not doing this deal. Obviously, if the Kings are the 5 seed in January, I'm not doing this deal. If the Kings are the 12 seed in January, I might think about it.
Yeah.
So
like you said, 5 seed, ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm even contemplating it.
I can't do the deal now. But the year is 2026. The month is January.
Or can they do it after December 15th?
Based on what I saw on Fanspo, because of Trey Mann, it would have to be January.
Oh, January, not December 15th. Okay.
Yes, that's what I read according to Fanspo. So if the Kings are the 5 seed, I'm not doing anything.
If the Kings are the 5 seed, you're looking to upgrade.
How about this? If the Kings are on track for 35 wins in January, that is where we can enter this trade. You don't have to do it.
No.
But that's my thought process for this. If the Kings are exceeding expectations, no, 279, I'm not doing that deal. Come on now, I'm not doing that. I'm saying they are whatever they would be at to be on track for 35 wins, and you can have a Grant Williams who's only 26. I just found out. I thought that brother was at least 29.
No, he's only 26.
26, and you're taking a flyer on Trey Mann, who's 24 years old, and he's shown flashes, just hasn't. This is a second draft situation for somebody in DeMar DeRozan where you're looking around the Heat. Hey, we're good. The Raptors have already kind of said, hey, we're good. Okay. And there is a team out there that thinks, hey, we're one score away from having a nice run here. And then we move on from DeMar DeRozan or whatever the case is. And I think Charlotte, I don't think the Hornets will be that team.
No.
But look, man, like I said, I'm tired of sitting here doing the Hawks every single day. I'm tired of doing the same teams. We're in the spirit of NFL Friday, Football Friday. We talk about surprise teams and who could show up. They could be my Carolina. I don't know what it is about Carolina when I still have never been there. Actually, I did go there. What was it? I went there. What was it? UN, one of the North Carolina teams back in the day when I was playing baseball. So I have been in North Carolina, but did not get to enjoy North Carolina. I don't know what it is about North Carolina today, but that's my surprise team, Ramsey, the Panthers. I am not calling the Hornets my surprise team in the NBA. What I'm saying is if they are a surprise team, maybe they say, let's go get a DeMar DeRozan to shore up the scoring for the rest of the season. And here goes bye-bye Grant Williams and bye-bye Trey Mann, who we clearly don't believe in a lot because we brought in 2 more guards.
Yeah, that and just speaking of Panthers, we'll agree to disagree because I don't think the Panthers are going to be good at all this season.
We got football coming up in a second.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, this is all hypothetical, people. I mean, and again, here's my thing. If for some reason you absolutely have to move on from DeMar DeRozan, you got to give him some level of respect and potentially, I'm not saying allow him to dictate where he wants to go.
Very true.
But that man's been in the league for 16 years, been a model teammate. If you're moving on and he has a destination or two that he wants to go to,
yes,
cool. I would give him the much more higher level of respect that for some reason the Kings gave De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd have made De'Aaron Fox sit and wait.
Now, look, the Kings could be there, and you could say no to it. You could say, Allen, I don't want to do the deal. You don't got to call it the worst trade of all time, but maybe that's how you felt. And we encourage on this show, as long as you're respectful, and 279, of course, we encourage you to be real and be open, all right? I can take it. I've heard worse. Some of you on the text line go crazy.
As your homie TC says, be real with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I hear you. So now, fine. You end at 35, 36 wins. You go into the offseason. That's a non-guaranteed contract. And you just wait and you say, hey, at that point, I would really be surprised if DeMar wants to stay. That's why, to me, what's the difference between being on track for 35 wins in January and the offseason after that season? It would, if DeMar wants to stay, yeah, you take that into consideration. Or if I really don't want to go to Charlotte, that's on Scott Perry. That's a PR conversation. All right, we don't want DeMar, we don't want to tick off DeMar or have people talking worse about the Sacramento Kings. They could decide to make that decision. But from a basketball perspective, I know Grant Williams, he does deserve a spot on our bad PR list. He's got some bad PR in the NBA. Okay, Grant Williams can play basketball.
He can.
Okay, he can play basketball. Trey Mann, to me, and so that is a positional thing. You don't want Kyle Kuzma, fine. I understand that. You can get a different 4 in Grant Williams, who's probably better than, right now he's better than Kyle Kuzma.
Potentially, and like I said, my whole drawback with Grant Williams is that shoulder injury, and if he's going to make an entire comeback from it. So
you can get Keegan to the 3. You're giving Keegan a bigger role offensively.
I'd actually leave Keegan at the 4 because to me, he's
I'm not playing Grant at the 3.
Just because you think he's too slow?
Yes.
Okay. I only say keep him at the 3 because Keegan's taller than him. Keegan's taller and a wider body than Grant Williams.
He was supposed to be Draymond, right, for a while. He's supposed to be Draymond. So that's what I would do there. And then Trey Mann for Devin Carter, that to me is just, let's just give each other a different situation.
Potentially. And again, it would be a third situation from Trey Mann. And that's why I'm saying Trey Mann is closer to being out of the league than he is to finding himself in the league.
And Devin Carter, I mean, he's not there only because Trey Mann has been around longer, but this is a big year for Devin Carter, wouldn't you say?
It's a big year for Devin Carter because he was injured. We don't, and no one truly knows what Devin Carter really is.
Exactly. Great stuff on the other side. Let's get to some football. Like I said, man, look, I teased it to start the show. This Christian McCaffrey stuff, there's no way around it. It's bad. And I know what they're saying. There's no alarm bells, but it's bad. And we'll explain to you why when we return. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Is it me or is it